But what is truth? Is your identity your truth? And is identity a choice? Big questions, I know. And I'm not looking for an immediate answer. But to confess, I'm still looking for Shouquot. If you do find him, let me know. Which brings me to how we live life today. We say safe things. We stay politically correct. We spend we spend precious time attending events like this in the hope that at some point we will come across some original thought. But when that original thought does arrive, that subversive or out of the way thought does arrive, we squirm and we fidget because it takes us away from our comfort zone. So I am here today to ease you into a conversation about identity and about choice. And I'm going to do it by using poetry, in the hope that when the disagreeable bits come, because I'm using poetry, you'll find it palatable. If you still find it unpalatable, however, at least you'll carry some food for thought. So here's the first poem. It is called Cleansing My Soul. I was standing on the pavement trying to cross the street. Behind me, a music shop was playing Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the Symphony of Joy. In front of me, a stray dog was being run over by a car. Tears streamed down my face, and a passerby patted me on the back, appreciating my concern. And he passed on before I could tell him that it was the music that made me cry. That it was the music that made me cry. I know you are judging me now. How could I value art over life? But it's never that simple or that simplistic. Sometimes, excellence moves me more than incidents. Human genius moves me more than human folly. And if that is a fault, I carry it proudly. So there I was, in the middle of a mundane day, shedding cathartic tears for a work of art that cleansed my soul. Now, questions. Was my being more overwhelmed by art than by life a choice? Or is it the way I am wired? Okay, let's cast the net a little wider now. Is my identity a choice? Or is it something I inherit? Let's explore this further with my next poem, which is called Choices. Life is all about choices, about daring to choose the life you want to live. Now, the world will forever keep putting you into boxes, and this is a fight you need to fight this cloning with all your might. Sometimes that might break you a little, but the last time I saw broken crayons color as good. Sometimes you might feel a little lost, but getting lost might be a very good way to find yourself. Sometimes you may find the weather too stormy to venture out. Well, boats in the harbor are safe, but that's not what boats are made for. You do have a war to wage. If you need to, do use your rage. Let lesser mortals play the sage. You need to love your age, not your cage. But every rage needs a home. Every identity needs a home. Those broken crayons, they need a home. Those questions that keep gnawing at our innards, they need a home. So here's the next poem talking about such a home. It's called home. Not where I was born, not where I grew up, not a place, not an address. Those are just dots. But where I feel at home and who I feel at home with, where I never feel bound, where roots are not geographically wired, but something I carry with me. Those are more dots. Where the here and now continues to shape me, and I carry only reason and emotion with me. Where I'm not the sum total of my experiences, but of my choices. Further dots. Where I belong not to a people, but just to some people. Or more honestly, just to myself. Where not cynicism, but wonder surrounds me. But not analysis, but love propels me. Yet more dots. Connect those dots, and I am home. But such an inclusive home is very difficult to build today. Because the world is fragmented and challenged by all these territorial isms that populate our lives. Sexism, chauvinism, nationalism. We have allowed these social constructs to play havoc with our selfhood. Just like another set of imaginary lines called countries. Felt so suffocated at one point that this is the poem that just came out. And it's called Innocent Man. It's an idealistic vision, of course, but that's the whole point. Innocent man. Most around me are giving in to the ways of the world because they want to belong to it. But I am still waiting for the world to adapt to me because I am an innocent man. They call me mad, for I dare to refuse the things they are willing to sell their souls for. They call me bad, for I refuse their magnanimous offers of teaching me wisdom. And yet, I make them sad, for they know they can never measure up to me, for they are wise. And only fools enter where angels fear to tread. I enter not because angels do not, or not because fools do, but because I am naive enough to believe I can get away with it. Mine is the courage of an innocent man. I walk free. I walk light. My back is not bent with luggage, unlike my neighbors. Their hands imprisoned by their luggage, my envious fellowmen thrust some on my back, a bag full of my obligations towards humanity, a trunk full of free advice, a box full of others' opinions about me. Is that what you're all carrying, I ask, and they sigh a collective yes. I simply shake such baggage off my shoulders. Mine is the shrug of an innocent man. Now, this innocent man, sans baggage, traveling light, still worries about the fact that we focus too much on tangibles. And that is why, that is how we lose the plot. We absolutely lose the point. So here is the next one, a very short poem. It's called Intangibles. I often forget that it is the gap between my fingers that makes them useful. I often forget that it is the unsaid in a relationship that gives it stature. I often forget that it is their absence that heightens the value of certain people in my life. I often fail to read the bottom line, that intangibles define the quality of my life, things I can't qualify, quantify, or measure. Love, freedom, integrity, attitude, they make my life a goal so worthy, it's glorious even to fail. And we fail because we have too many grand designs. The big idea, the big reveal, big success, greatness in a jiffy. Never the stairs, always the elevator. Always the sprint, never the marathon. Always looking for Hussain Bolt, never looking for, what's the marathon champion's name again? Yes, see? Hey, I know. We fail to see the value of accumulation, of little things that add up to big epiphanies. So here is my next poem dedicated to all the bigness of small gestures, to the value of everyday heroisms. It is called Ordinary Heroes. This isn't about the one who defied the gods to bring fire to mankind. This is about that old man who walks 5 miles every day to place flowers on his wife's grave. This isn't about the one who used his office to make all men equal and paid for it with his life. This is about that girl who does not go to church on Sundays so that she can spend it telling stories with happy endings to parents of war victims. This isn't about the one who taught his pupils to respect truth, not authority, and drank poison to stand by his credo. This is about that teacher who showed her students her vulnerabilities every day so that they too feel comfortable to make mistakes that will help them grow. This isn't about great heroic deeds that changed history. No. This is about little heroisms that enchant our lives every day. This is about lives lived without flourish, but lived with substance. Now, that kind of heroism is not for everyone to embrace. Everyone does not dare to do that because most people feel the need to protect and preserve their hard-won image, which after the initial high of having arrived becomes a prison. Now to break free of that prison, you need to add some method to the madness. And the best method I have found is questions.